Welcome to Intellings, where we explore nonfiction books through new reviews and interviews. Today, we are going to look into a fascinating book called Undo It: How Simple Lifestyle Changes Can Reverse Most Chronic Diseases, co-authored by Dean Ornish and his wife Anne Ornish, where they explore an important question: whether we can actually undo chronic diseases. The book seems to claim that through lifestyle changes, even chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and even some types of cancer can be undone and reversed. So let's unpack it. Dr. Ornish has been at the forefront of preventive medicine for decades. He is known for his research on heart disease, showing that patients who made certain lifestyle changes saw actual reversal of their conditions. In Undo It! He expands on this thesis and argues that the same principles apply to a range of other chronic diseases. According to him, the four key pillars of a healthier life are eating a whole food, plant-based diet, moving and engaging in at least some moderate physical activity, living a low-stress life, and a strong sense of being loved and cared for, and a sense of community. Let's elaborate. Ornish emphasizes a plant-based diet that is high in fiber and low in processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats, and a diet that is comprised of whole foods, fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains is key to a healthy body. This diet, he stresses, reduces inflammation, stabilizes blood sugar, and can even reverse artery blockages in people with heart disease. Critics argue that plant-based diet is not realistic for everyone. But Ornish isn't necessarily saying you must be vegan overnight. The idea is to reduce animal products and highly processed foods as much as possible. Take, for example, the Mediterranean diet, for example. It is not strictly plant-based, but it is rich in whole foods and healthy fats, and studies have shown its effectiveness in preventing cardiovascular disease. So the switch to a vegan or plant-based whole food diet can also be gradual, not sudden or cold turkey. His second pillar is at least some physical activity on a regular basis, such as walking, stretching, or yoga. He points out that physical activity is not about just losing weight. It also reduces stress hormones like cortisol, improves circulation and heart health, and boosts mental well-being, which is closely tied to physical health. Even 30 minutes of walking a day, he argues, can make a huge difference. And there is little to counter-argue this. Stress, particularly chronic stress, is often an invisible common factor behind many chronic illnesses. When we are constantly in fight or flight mode, our body produces excessive cortisol, which can lead to a number of serious ailments, including high blood pressure, insulin resistance, inflammation, and weakened immune function. Ornish recommends practicing meditation, deep breathing exercises, yoga, and spending time in nature to reduce stress. What is fascinating is that research shows stress reduction can lead to actual cellular changes. Studies in Undo It highlight cases where mindfulness techniques led to improved immune function and even increased telomere length, the little caps on our deoxyribonucleic acid that shorten with aging. As the fourth pillar, Ornish stresses the role of relationships in our health. Feeling lonely or disconnected, he argues, can increase inflammation, weaken the immune system, and raise the risk of heart disease and depression in person. Deep relationships and emotional support, on the other hand, can trigger the release of oxytocin, also known as the love hormone, which lowers stress and boosts healing. To hit this point home, he refers to a study where those heart patients who had strong emotional support had a significantly higher chance of survival than those who felt isolated. Now, let us address the big question. Does the science back the claims made by the authors? The short answer is yes. Dr. Ornish's research is some of the most well-documented. His clinical studies on heart disease patients demonstrate that those who followed his program did experience an actual regression of plaque in their arteries, something that was previously considered impossible without surgery. Similarly, there are also studies that strongly suggest that a whole food plant-based diet and lifestyle can reverse various health issues, including some chronic illnesses such as inflammation. But despite these studies, not everyone seems convinced. For example, Some critics argue that studies referred to by the authors mostly involve people already motivated to make big changes, and hence the results might not apply to everyone. This, however, is a weird argument because if you are not motivated, why would you undertake such radical lifestyle changes anyway? Another line of argument is that these results can only be acquired through long-term lifestyle changes that take long-term commitment. Again, this argument seems odd because a person's health cannot be overhauled overnight, especially after years and maybe decades of damage caused by bad diet and lifestyle. It takes time. And last but not least, it has been argued that some conditions, like advanced diabetes or genetic disorders, may require medical intervention beyond the recommended lifestyle shifts. And this indeed does seem like a fair argument. We do not think that the authors would rule this out anyway. No lifestyle on its own can be a cure-all at all times. So, what is our take on the book? We think it is a wonderful book containing important health-related advice by a couple of highly experienced professionals. So from that perspective, it is definitely a book worth reading and keeping in your library collection. But whether it is a groundbreaking work in this field, we beg to differ. The whole food plant-based diet prescription is not a new one. We can at least go as back as the China study by Colin Campbell and Thomas M. Campbell, published in 2004, and then more recently, several other well-known figures such as Dr. Neil Barnard have been pushing the same theme through their books, articles, public appearances, and online media platforms, among other things. So there is plenty of content available, most of it even free, on this subject. But this book is definitely a great addition to that material, and perhaps with new and unique examples and anecdotes to prove the same. What do you think? Have you tried any of these lifestyle changes? Do you believe chronic diseases can be reversed without medication and with mere lifestyle changes? Let us continue the conversation on this very important subject. So leave a comment, share your thoughts, and do not forget to subscribe for more insights on more nonfiction books, including health-related material. Thanks for listening to Intellings. Until next time, take care and stay healthy.